Welcome back my channel Old Crypto Coin and new Video Liberty Wheat Penny 1. Sent 3 coin United States of America. At first glance, it can look like nothing more than an old copper coin that has quietly survived decades of everyday life. Yet a closer inspection reveals a fascinating piece of American history that continues to capture the imagination of collectors around the world. The Liberty Wheat Penny, often recognized by the portrait of Liberty on the front and 2 graceful wheat stalks framing the reverse, represents an era when even the smallest denomination reflected artistic craftsmanship and national identity. Every tiny detail, from the shape of the lettering to the texture of the fields, tells part of a larger story about the technology, economy, and people of its time. Many examples spent years changing hands in stores, banks, and family pockets before eventually finding their way into albums, collections, and estate boxes, making each surviving coin a silent witness to countless moments in American history. That combination of everyday use and historical significance is one of the reasons collectors continue searching through old collections with genuine curiosity. As interest in classic United States coinage has grown, enthusiasts have discovered that not every Liberty Wheat Penny looks exactly the same. Different production years, mint facilities, and manufacturing conditions created subtle distinctions that experienced collectors enjoy studying. Some coins display sharper lettering, while others reveal softer details because of worn dies or heavy circulation. Even the placement of the date, the spacing of letters, or the crispness of Liberty's portrait can become interesting points of comparison. Tiny differences that might escape casual observation often become meaningful when examined alongside official minting standards and known production characteristics. These small variations do not automatically make a coin rare, but they contribute to the educational appeal of studying historic coinage and help explain why 2 coins with similar appearances may attract different levels of collector interest. The visual character of a well-preserved example often leaves a lasting impression. Original surfaces may show warm shades ranging from bright reddish copper to deeper brown tones developed naturally over time. Light flowing luster, sharp wheat ears, well-defined hair details, and complete lettering can indicate that a coin experienced relatively little wear during circulation. At the same time, honest signs of age, such as gentle smoothing, light contact marks, or even natural color changes, can add personality without diminishing the historical story behind the piece. Collectors frequently appreciate coins that have remained unaltered, avoiding harsh cleaning or artificial polishing that may permanently change their original appearance. Preserving natural surfaces has become an important part of modern collecting because authenticity often carries more value than cosmetic improvement. One of the most intriguing aspects of Liberty Wheat Pennies involves the possibility of mint variations and production anomalies that occur during the manufacturing process. Occasionally, collectors encounter examples showing doubled lettering, repunched mint marks, die cracks, off-center strikes, or other mint-created characteristics that resulted from equipment adjustments or normal production challenges inside the mint. These features require careful study because ordinary wear, environmental damage, or post-mint alterations can sometimes resemble genuine mint errors. Responsible collectors compare suspected varieties with established references and understand that accurate identification depends on evidence rather than assumptions. The excitement comes not from expecting every unusual mark to be valuable, but from the careful investigation that transforms a simple coin into an engaging historical mystery waiting to be understood. As the conversation naturally turns toward collector values, it becomes important to separate historical interest from market reality. Most circulated Liberty Wheat Pennies remain affordable collectibles, allowing beginners to enjoy assembling date and mint collections without extraordinary expense. However, authenticated high-grade examples with exceptional preservation or verified mint-era coins may attract stronger collector attention and, in rare cases, reach significant auction or private sale values, depending on rarity, condition, grading, and current market demand. Some collector discussions and auction records have documented impressive prices for especially scarce pieces, while many similar-looking coins sell for far less. Every value mentioned within the hobby should therefore be viewed as an estimate based on collector discussions, auction records, or market observations, rather than a guaranteed outcome for any individual coin. That reality makes careful examination especially important before assuming a coin is unusual. Take time to evaluate its weight using an accurate scale. Observe the metal appearance under proper lighting. Inspect strike alignment. Study the rim for unusual characteristics, and compare the lettering with reliable reference images. Look closely for differences that appear consistent with genuine mint production, instead of damage caused after the coin entered circulation. If a coin appears especially unusual or exceptionally well preserved, professional authentication or grading can provide valuable documentation before making any buying or selling decisions. Independent evaluation helps establish authenticity, identifies recognized varieties, and provides a more reliable foundation for understanding where a particular coin fits within today's collector market. Another reason these coins continue attracting attention is that they connect modern collectors with generations of Americans who carried them during periods of remarkable national change. From expanding industries to changing transportation, evolving communities, and everyday commerce, countless Liberty Wheat pennies quietly participated in ordinary transactions that eventually became extraordinary pieces of history. Each surviving example reflects a unique journey shaped by circulation, storage, environmental conditions, and simple chance. While many have become worn through decades of use, others escaped heavy circulation and preserve remarkable details that inspire admiration today. Step 1 Liberty Wheat Penny 1 cent 1951 United States of America. Imagine holding a small bronze coin that quietly traveled through the everyday lives of millions of Americans while the nation was stepping into a new decade shaped by post-war confidence, expanding neighborhoods, and growing industry. The 1951 Liberty Wheat Penny may appear ordinary at first glance, yet its story stretches far beyond its face value. Every surviving example represents a tiny surviving witness to an era when cash changed hands countless times each day in grocery stores, corner diners, railroad stations, and family businesses. Rather than being remembered for dramatic historical events alone, this coin has earned lasting attention because it bridges everyday American life with a fascinating world of modern numismatics. Collectors continue searching through old jars, inherited collections, and forgotten coin albums, because even common-looking wheat pennies can reveal subtle characteristics that make one example more interesting than another. That quiet possibility is exactly what keeps the hunt alive generation after generation. The obverse features a familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln, a design that had already become deeply recognized across the United States by 1951. Above the portrait appears the word Liberty, while the date marks the year this particular coin entered circulation. The reverse carries a classic pair of wheat ears surrounding the denomination and the national inscription, creating one of the most recognizable American coin designs of the 20th century. Produced primarily from a bronze alloy containing mostly copper with small amounts of tin and zinc, the coin develops different appearances as it ages. Some pieces retain rich original reddish surfaces, others mellow into warm brown shades, while many display attractive combinations of red and brown that collectors often describe with great interest. Tiny differences in strike sharpness, luster, and overall preservation can dramatically change how desirable a particular example becomes, even when two coins share the same year and general appearance. Another reason the 1951 wheat penny remains fascinating is the variety of mint locations responsible for its production. Coins were struck in Philadelphia without a mint mark, while others were produced in Denver with a small D below the date, and in San Francisco with a small S in the same location. Although each version performed the same everyday function, collectors often compare them closely because production methods, dye, wear, and minting conditions were never perfectly identical. Minor differences in lettering sharpness, wheat stalk definition, rim formation, and overall strike quality create an engaging puzzle for enthusiasts who enjoy studying coins under magnification. Some pieces reveal stronger central details, while others display softer impressions caused by normal manufacturing conditions. These subtle distinctions transform what might seem like an ordinary penny into an object worthy of careful examination and thoughtful discussion among collectors. Years of circulation also leave behind a story written directly onto the surface of the coin. Smooth high points, tiny contact marks, gentle scratches, and natural color changes all record decades of handling. At the opposite end of the spectrum are coins that somehow escaped heavy circulation, preserving crisp details, brighter original surfaces, and stronger mint luster. Such examples naturally receive greater attention because they offer a clearer glimpse of how the coin looked when it first left the mint. Collectors also watch for unusual mint-produced characteristics, including certain off-center strikes, double design elements, clipped planchets, die cracks, or other genuine mint errors that occurred during production rather than after circulation. These unusual pieces are far less common than normal issues, making accurate identification especially important before drawing conclusions about rarity or value. As curiosity grows, conversations inevitably turn toward collector values, but the reality is more nuanced than dramatic headlines sometimes suggest. Most circulated 1951 wheat pennies remain modestly priced because large numbers were originally produced and many examples still survive today. However, condition plays an enormous role in collector demand. Coins with exceptional eye appeal, minimal wear, original surfaces, and certified high grades often attract considerably more interest than average circulated pieces. Verified mint error examples, or especially well-preserved coins, may also stand apart from ordinary specimens. Estimated values discussed within the collecting community are based on auction records, dealer listings, collector conversations, and broader market observations, yet they constantly shift with changing demand. For that reason, no specific value should ever be viewed as fixed or guaranteed. Occasionally, authenticated high-grade examples or professionally verified mint error coins have reached notable prices through competitive auctions or private collector sales. In rare circumstances, especially when a coin combines outstanding preservation with genuine scarcity or a recognized mint error, values can climb into hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Even so, those results represent exceptional cases rather than the normal experience for the average 1951 wheat penny. Every coin must be evaluated individually according to authenticity, grade, eye appeal, rarity, and current market conditions at the time of sale. A coin that appears valuable in photographs may receive a very different assessment after professional examination, while another overlooked example might prove more desirable because of subtle characteristics that only experienced specialists recognize. Anyone exploring a 1951 wheat penny should approach the process patiently and responsibly. Begin by examining the coin's weight, overall metal appearance, strike alignment, rim details, lettering variations, mint mark placement when present, and the consistency of the design across both sides. Natural aging should not be confused with damage, and unusual features should not automatically be assumed to be valuable mint errors. Cleaning, polishing, or altering a coin can reduce collector interest, even if the intention was simply to make it look brighter. Step 2 Liberty Wheat Penny 1 cent 1952D. United States of America. At first glance, the 1952 D Liberty Wheat Penny can seem like nothing more than an ordinary 1-cent coin that quietly passed through countless hands during the early 1950s. Yet its story reaches far beyond its modest face value. Struck during a period when the United States was balancing post-war economic growth with the realities of a changing world, this small bronze coin became part of everyday life in grocery stores, gas stations, school lunch lines, and neighborhood businesses. Every surviving example carries the possibility of revealing tiny clues left behind by the minting process, decades of circulation or careful preservation. For collectors, that combination of history and craftsmanship transforms a common-looking coin into a fascinating historical artifact whose appeal comes from its authentic connection to the people who once relied on it in daily commerce. The D Mint mark identifies production at the Denver Mint, where millions of wheat pennies were struck with the goal of supplying commerce efficiently while maintaining consistent quality. Although the overall design remained familiar, every production run could display subtle differences caused by die wear, striking pressure, polishing, or normal manufacturing adjustments. On the obverse, the enduring Portrait of Liberty faces right with bold lettering surrounding the design, while the reverse features the iconic wheat ears framing the denomination and the nation's name. Even among coins of the same date and mint, attentive collectors often notice small distinctions in the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, the texture of the wheat stalks, the clarity of the lettering, and the appearance of fields. These naturally occurring differences help explain why enthusiasts continue examining examples that might otherwise appear identical to casual observers. As these pennies circulated from pocket to pocket over many decades, each acquired its own visual identity shaped by time and handling. Some developed smooth chocolate brown surfaces from years of use, while others retain traces of their original reddish color after being stored away shortly after leaving the mint. Collectors frequently study the rim for signs of damage or unusual formation, inspect the strike alignment to confirm normal production characteristics, and compare the lettering for small variations that may reflect die condition rather than post-mint wear. Careful examination of the coin's weight and metal appearance can also help distinguish an authentic example from altered or damaged pieces. These practical observations are part of responsible collecting and often reveal far more about a coin's journey than its date alone. Curiosity grows even stronger when discussions turn toward mint variations and genuine production errors. While most 1952 D-wheat pennies were produced according to standard specifications, a very small number may display characteristics that attract additional collector attention, including noticeable die cracks, repunched elements documented by specialists, off-center strikes, or other verified mint-created irregularities. It is important to separate true mint errors from damage that occurred long after the coin entered circulation, since scratches, dents, environmental corrosion, or alterations can easily be mistaken for something unusual. Because of this, experienced collectors often compare suspected varieties with well-documented references before reaching conclusions, recognizing that careful verification is essential whenever an apparently unusual coin is discovered. Condition plays an equally important role in determining collector interest. A heavily circulated example may still be historically meaningful, but coins showing crisp details, attractive surfaces, and minimal wear generally receive greater attention from enthusiasts assembling high-quality collections. Pieces that preserve original mint luster or exceptionally sharp design elements often stand apart from average circulated examples. Professional grading services evaluate factors such as surface preservation, strike quality, and overall eye appeal, creating a consistent standard that helps buyers and sellers communicate more confidently. Authentication also provides reassurance that the coin has not been improperly altered or misidentified, an important consideration whenever a collectible attracts widespread public interest. Only after history, condition, and authenticity are considered does the conversation naturally shift toward collector market values. Many circulated in 1952 D-wheat pennies are collected primarily for their historical significance and may trade for modest amounts, while cleaner and better preserved examples often bring higher prices depending on demand. Authenticated high-grade coins can attract stronger collector competition, and verified mint error examples with well-documented characteristics may receive additional attention because of their unusual production history. In rare situations, outstanding specimens have achieved significant auction or private sale results, but those outcomes depend on a combination of rarity, condition, grading, buyer interest, and current market demand rather than the date alone. Any price discussed should be viewed as an estimate based on collector discussions, auction records, or market observations, never as a guaranteed outcome. For anyone examining a newly discovered 1952 D-wheat penny, patience is one of the most valuable tools. Look carefully at the coin's weight metal appearance, strike alignment, rim details, and lettering variations before making assumptions about rarity. Avoid harsh cleaning, polishing, or other attempts to improve its appearance, since such actions may reduce collector appeal and complicate professional evaluation. If a coin appears unusually well preserved or seems to display a genuine mint error, seeking authentication or grading from a respected professional service is a sensible step before making any buying or selling decision. A careful approach helps preserve both the historical integrity of the coin and the accuracy of any conclusions drawn about its collectible status. Perhaps that is the greatest appeal of the 1952 D-Liberty wheat penny. It reminds us that remarkable stories are often hidden inside ordinary objects waiting to be noticed. Step Last Liberty Wheat Penny 1 cent 1956 D. United States of America. At first glance, the 1956 D-Liberty Wheat Penny may seem like another well-traveled American cent, yet it carries a quiet legacy of a nation experiencing remarkable growth during the middle of the 20th century. Struck at the Denver Mint, this small bronze coin belongs to the final years of the beloved wheat cent series, before a major reverse design change arrived only a few years later. Every surviving example has traveled its own path through pockets, cash registers, family collections, and forgotten jars, creating a unique story that cannot be fully reconstructed. That sense of mystery is part of what keeps collectors fascinated, because even a common-looking coin can preserve tiny clues about the day it was struck and the decades it spent in circulation. Looking closely transforms an ordinary cent into a historical artifact connected to everyday American life. The obverse displays a familiar portrait of Abraham Lincoln with the word liberty beside him and the date 1956 accompanied by the small D mint mark below. Identified for production at the Denver Mint. On the reverse, two graceful wheat ears frame the inscriptions that made this design instantly recognizable to generations of Americans. Although millions were produced, no two coins have aged in precisely the same way. Some display rich chocolate brown surfaces from decades of circulation, while others retain traces of their original reddish mint color if they escaped heavy use. The texture of the fields, the sharpness of Lincoln's hair, and the crispness of the wheat stalks all reveal clues about preservation, making even subtle differences meaningful to experienced collectors who appreciate careful observation over quick conclusions. Behind every 1956 D wheat penny lies a complex process of mid-century coin production, where massive presses transform metal blanks into finished coins at incredible speed. Even with strict quality control, slight differences naturally appear from die wear, pressure changes, and the gradual aging of production equipment. Some pieces show exceptionally bold strikes with crisp lettering and well-defined wheat lines, while others appear softer in selected areas because of normal manufacturing variations rather than damage. These small distinctions encourage collectors to compare examples side by side, searching for tiny characteristics that separate an average survivor from one displaying especially attractive mint craftsmanship. The excitement comes not from assuming rarity, but from learning how production details can influence collector interest. As decades passed, circulation left its signature on most surviving examples through worn high points, softened lettering, contact marks, and natural toning. Yet hidden away in albums, old envelopes, inherited collections, or long-forgotten savings containers, a limited number remain remarkably well-preserved. Collectors often examine these coins under magnification, studying the rims for consistency, checking whether the lettering remains sharp, and evaluating whether the surfaces still reflect original mint quality. Careful attention is also given to possible mint variations or unusual production characteristics that deserve closer examination. A coin may appear ordinary until a closer inspection reveals something unexpected, reminding collectors that patience and careful study often matter more than first impressions. Conversations become even more interesting when verified mint errors enter the picture. While most 1956 D-cent or standard circulation issues, authenticated examples displaying genuine off-center strikes, broad strikes, repunch characteristics recognized by specialists, die cracks, retained cuds, or other confirmed mint-produced anomalies may receive considerably greater attention from advanced collectors. Authentication is essential because ordinary post-mint damage can sometimes resemble a genuine error to the untrained eye. For that reason, experienced hobbyists encourage examining weight, metal appearance, strike alignment, rim details, and lettering variations before reaching conclusions. Professional authentication or grading provides valuable confidence when determining whether an unusual feature originated during minting or developed later through circulation and damage. When discussion turns to value, the story becomes more nuanced than many people expect. Most circulated 1956 D wheat pennies remain affordable historical collectibles, while examples showing stronger preservation, original surfaces, and minimal will often command higher prices within the collector market. Authenticated high-grade coins certified by respected grading services may attract significantly stronger interest, particularly when outstanding eye appeal accompanies technical quality. Verified mint error examples can also receive substantial attention and, in rare situations, achieve impressive auction or private sale results depending on specific error, rarity, condition, grading outcome, and current collector demand. Every value mentioned within the hobby should be viewed as an estimate based on collector discussions, auction records, or broader market observations rather than a guaranteed selling price. Because the market changes over time, responsible collectors avoid assuming that every old coin carries exceptional monetary worth. Demand shifts, new discoveries appear, grading standards remain important, and buyer preferences evolve from one period to another. Two coins bearing the same date and mint mark can sell for dramatically different amounts because of differences in preservation, originality, certification, visual appeal, or confirmed mint characteristics. Before buying or selling, it is wise to compare recent market activity. Examine the coin carefully under proper lighting. Verify its weight and appearance. Inspect strike alignment, rims, and lettering, and consider obtaining professional authentication or grading whenever a coin appears unusually well preserved or displays features that might represent a genuine mint error.